Hello, my YouTube friends. Thanks for joining in tonight. Man, if you haven't hit that subscribe button right down there, please do and slam that bell because we got a lot of great things going on. And one is the Shure SM7B microphone giveaway. You don't want to miss out, man. Hit that subscribe button, slam that bell, and type down there as to why you love a Shure microphone. That'll get you in, man. You don't want to miss out. Never say never again, guys. Never say never again. That's right. You might be asking, what the heck is he talking about, man? Overhaul in that studio. If you want to get down to the heart of it, man, and you want to overhaul your studio, man, where do you start to overhaul your studio? Where would be your first place to overhaul your studio? What would be the first thing? Would it be your microphones? Would it be your mic cables? Would it be your microphone preamps? These are questions you might be asking yourself because you only got so much dough, man, to throw in the kitty or pull from the kitty and overhaul your studio. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I'll tell you where the heart is, okay? We'll make it simple. We'll make it simple to you guys who want to start and overhaul your studio. The first place that I would probably start is your interface. Your interface, man. Oh my gosh, man, that makes a world of difference of how everything's going to from your analog to your digital, from your digital back to your analog. How it transfers, man. And I will say this, the better your interface is, the better quality you're going to have, man. It's not about your DAW. You can use any DAW you want to. Use Reaper, it's free. Use Pro Tools, it doesn't matter. Use Nuendo, use Cubase, use Logic, it doesn't matter. It's just a platform, okay? It's just a platform how to get to and from. That's not where it's all about, man. It's about your interface, interface, interface. That's where the heart of it is. And then go from there. Don't worry about your DAW, man. Get a great sounding interface, whether it's Apogee. Apogee makes some really good stuff, okay? Apogee's been around, okay? Also, I did want to mention also Universal Audio's got some good stuff out now, okay? The higher sample rate that you can record at is really the better because the higher the sample rate, you're going to get more pixels in that picture, right? It's going to have a better reading of the analog gear that you're putting in it. And because remember, you're going from analog to digital and you want that transformation as a sample rate as high as you can. The higher, the better, just simply because it's going to give you that analog sound. Whether you record at 192 or 96K, those are really, really good sample rates to record at. 96 is really, really good. So the higher the sample rate, the more realistic and realism is going to sound. And you don't want to skimp on your interface, okay, guys? That is the heart. That is the heart of your recording system is your interface. And you can't go wrong if you start there. And then I would probably start on my interface. I wouldn't worry about my DAW. You can get any DAW you want to, okay? Whatever you're used to or whatever your friends use, and it doesn't matter. I've actually done some really cool stuff, some really, really cool stuff using Reaper that was free. Okay. So it doesn't really matter what DAW you're using. Okay. The heart, the meat of everything is your interface. Man, put your money in there. Spend $2,000, spend 3,000, spend 6,000. Um, on a nice interface. Okay, that's going to get you a lot further down the road. There's one that just came out just recently. and or pretty recently. It's by Rupert Neve, and it's called the MBC. Okay, and I watched a little video on that today, man, and that thing, wow, I really like to throw that in my studio, man. Really, really sounds good. Then also Apogee makes some great sounding stuff where you can record at 192, 96. I'm going to put a couple links down there and below, some that I would probably recommend on getting. And that's going to set you milestones ahead of everyone else by simply getting a beautiful sounding interface. Okay. And then after I did that, then I would work back. I would work back toward my compressors and mic preamps and microphones, or microphones, preamps, compressors. Either way, interface is the core, okay? And then your mic pre's, microphones, and compressors would be the direction I would go. Mic cables. You want to overhaul that studio, man. You got to get to the heart, okay? And never say never again. I say that simply because there was a time in my recording experiences where I felt like I had everything I needed, and actually got rid of a lot of nice, cool vintage microphones. Said, I don't really need these. It's just it's a glamour thing. It's a hobby thing. I was wrong. Never say never again, because you know what? You possibly could want those things back in your mic locker, or even more, upgrade your studio with a better interface. So, for any of you guys out there that are looking to upgrade your studio, upgrade it with a nice, beautiful, high end interface. And then from there, you can get any DAW that you'd like. You know, it's not really that. Your DAW is going to make a big difference unless you're just used to working with something in particular. Whether I know a lot of guys who work in Pro Tools, and because it's like the norm, and it's like the first nice professional DAW that actually came out there, people are still working in Pro Tools. But there are a lot of other nice DAWs that people are using that are creating hits on, man. Logic is one. A lot of people are using Logic. I was actually going to steer that direction and go toward Logic, but here's the thing about Logic: if you're not working with a Macintosh, they don't have anything that supports your normal PC. Now I do have a Macintosh, and I've been running a Nuendo on that 6.5. I actually started with Nuendo when it was 2.0, and worked with Nuendo for many years with Nuendo. And actually now my DAW is Studio One. And with all your plugins that you can get, it's really about navigation and what's really easy for you to get around to and from. And I really like Studio One. I like it. It's easy to navigate around. I've got my plugins. I've got my voice pitch corrections. I've got a bunch of waves plugins that's in there. So as long as your DAW supports external or supports other plugins, which most of them do these days, it's really not about your DAW so much, unless you're just used to working with particular DAW and you want to go back there. But if you want to upgrade your studio, let me reiterate this 1,000 times. Start with a beautiful sounding interface, and that's going to get you there, man. That's going to get you there. There's another one that I wanted to mention. I want to say by Neve, and it's more for like doing live gigs and traveling. And I want to say, God, what was it? The ME, or the, I don't know. It's eight channels. Golly, don't get me on it, man. Don't get me on. There's so much out there, but Rupert Neve, anything Neve puts out, y'all, it's gonna sound great. Anything Apogee puts out, it's gonna be really, really good. And just remember, the higher the sample rate on that stuff is really kind of the way you want to go, especially if you have enough horsepower in your computer to support the higher sample rate. Because the higher the sample rate, the more space it will take up. Um, Golly, I can't think of the name of that piece by Neve, but maybe you guys can. It's actually a newer piece. It costs about 6 grand to get you in that one for 8 ins and out. But really, really, really a nice piece to have. So remember, the heart is your interface, and then everything out from there will help support that. So I don't know if you guys know, but we have a audio master t-shirt coming out, and I mentioned on my past videos that we're going to be having some cool audio master t-shirts made, and I am going to be giving out several of them to the next 30 subscribers. Are going to get actually I'm getting 10 made. That's going to be different than all the rest, and it's going to be really nice. So if you hit that subscribe button and slam that bell and type down there that you would like an Audio Master t-shirt and your physical size t-shirt that you wear, because they're going to be 100% cotton, that'll get you in the drawing. So you don't want to miss out, man. We got summer coming. Some people like tank tops. Some people like white tees. But I will say the shirts are going to be white with gray lettering for the summer, and for the winter shirts are going to be black with white lettering. So the black and white's typically a good shirt to go with. Everybody likes black and white. I like black and white in the winter, and then in the summer I like white light shirts because it's so hot here in Texas, man. Man, we live close to the coast here, and the humidity gets so high. It's literally like we're in a bathtub right here, man. The humidity gets so hot. If you're not in shape and you're not used to the humidity, people will pass out if they're not hydrated enough around here because it gets so stifling. The heat's just stifling here, man. And you know what? For some reason, I feel like this summer is going to be a very, very hot summer, and I'm just hoping like heck we don't get a hurricane this year, man. We do not need a hurricane after all that's been going on with the COVID and everything else that's been happening. Oh man, we need some good karma. We need some good karma for everybody at this time, and yeah, that's what I've been wanting for everyone. Just something good to happen for all of us, right? I mean, we went through nearly almost a whole year of this COVID thing, and it's set everybody back. It really has. I've noticed. I went to Lowe's. It's a place where you can go and get all kind of different things from plants and flowers and tools and glues and whatever. So I went to Lowe's today, and man, there was nothing on the shelf. There was nothing. I mean, everything was just gone. It was like so. Anyway, man, I hate to get off a little bit there, but yeah, man, we need some good things to happen for us, and we just need a change of some good things for all of us. But if you want to change the heart of your studio and you want to get some really, really good stuff tracked, man, get a very, very spend your money on a nice interface. That will upgrade. That's the very start of your upgrade. And you can do it and you notice a difference, man. You'll notice a big difference just laying down everything sound bigger. Everything will sound more cleaner and more transparent sounding. There'll be a bigger realism to the sound, the better quality interface that you have. So I say start at your interface and then work from there, man. But anyway, let me know what you guys are using. What kind of interface are you using in your studio right now? Are you using I don't know, Focusrite, RME, I don't know. There's just so many different ones out there that you could get. Tascam makes one, Personas. Oh shoot, man, it goes on and on and on. Different interfaces that you can use. But, I will say that, once you start getting in the 2,000 and up range, you're in the ballpark of getting some really, really nice sounding quality, sound from your interface, and, I think that's the meat of every studio, and then, yeah, so if you wanna upgrade your studio, start at your interface, and, there's another one I'm trying to think of, y'all. Let's see, Universal Audio, RME, Apogee, and there's one more that it's on the tip of my tongue. Sometimes when I freeform stuff, it's hard for me to remember everything, and I get behind the wheel and just start driving and start talking about gear and whatnot. And after the fact is when I always remember. Oh man, yeah, there it is. And but yeah, we got a lot of cool things going on and a lot of cool things coming up. And I just can't wait to start tracking and doing some stuff and bringing people in and doing and helping them out and actually doing my part on the tracking. Whether I do the mixing here or not, I may bring in some other people that love audio engineering as well. I have a friend that loves it just as much, if not more, than I do. And I might send some of those tracks over to him and kind of shoot them back and forth, shoot the stems back and forth at each other, and see if we can't do some collaboration on some cool stuff. So I always like to collaborate with other people, man, and not really try to wear all the hats, but just to be a part, just to be a part. And sometimes it's nice not to be behind the wheel all the time. And it's kind of nice to just ease on back and sit on back in the passenger seat or sit in the back seat and just kind of enjoy the ride, man. Just enjoy the ride. Just to be a part of the ride is good enough for me. There was a time in my 30s where I felt like, oh man, I had to wear the hat. I had to be in control of everything, and it was I don't know if it was just an age thing, a phase that I went through, or but you know what? Sometimes it's nice to give up the wheel and let somebody else do the driving, and you take the back seat and just enjoy the ride, man. Because that's really, really it's all about. It's the journey. It's not about having it or being there. It's the journey getting there that makes it fun to be a part of. So I've been enjoying the journey, man. And the best way you can enjoy the journey is collaborate with other people who know as much or if not more than you do. And you can say, here, man, you wear the hat. I just want to be a part of the ride. And that's what makes it fun, man. Being an engineer is sharing your ideas with others, okay? And then just being a part of the ride. That's what makes it fun. So yeah, I appreciate each of you guys joining in tonight. Let me know. Type down there into the description box down there what interfaces you guys are using, because I'm just curious to know what you're using and maybe what you think about Apogee interfaces and also Neve. Neve has some cool ones out now that's really, really, really high end stuff. And if you ever buy anything from Neve, you're gonna get top notch stuff, and you can't go wrong there. So that's the heart. And then I would work backwards. I'd probably this is the way I do it. Interface, microphones because I'm a lot microphone lover, and then preamp, and then compressor, and that's the way I would work. And then your cables, whether you use Mogami or Monster cable, those are probably two of my favorite to use, Mogami and Monster. Now I did notice a big difference, y'all. I will say this: when I was upgrading my studio, I was just using different type of cables and whatever. But I will say, whenever I switched over my whole studio to Monster Cable Pro 1000, it was really night and day. I actually had some tracks that I'd taken that I'd put down using just, I don't know if it was Proco or some cheap cables or whatever. And I did some tracking with my vocals and guitar. And then I had those tracks laid down. And then when I got my monster cable, I actually did some other tracking on the same song. Okay, using the monster, same preamp, same microphone. A big difference, man. It was thick as a brick. It was thick as a brick. Changing my audio cable, I could really notice the big difference. So those are some things that you can change out right away. The interface would be the heart, and then cables and things like that. Man, I wouldn't worry about so much the doll. That's not going to make a big difference on the quality of the sound that you're actually putting in it. So that'll go a long ways, man. But not everybody right now has 6 grand or 3 grand to dump into an interface. But I will say this: if you want to step up and play with the big boys, and you want to start playing with the big boys, and I know you do, because if you like audio recording, mixing, or you're a musician, you want to step up, you want to use what the big boys are using, and a nice interface, high end piece of gear is going to make all the difference in the world of how your tracks sound and how they're played back. That A to D, D to A transformation and sample rate makes a world of difference, y'all. A world of difference. So I appreciate all of you joining in tonight, man. I almost didn't get on at 7. I typically like to come on at 7 o'clock Texas time. And I got eating dinner earlier and joined up with a few friends that I haven't seen in a while. And we started enjoying ourselves. And you know how it is, man. I couldn't get away. It wasn't like I could say, "Okay, let's go. Hurry up and eat." But, I'm just glad I was able to make it back and get on here and talk about, overhauling your studio. Overhauling your studio, guys. And never say never again, because, um, there'll be a point in your life where when you said never, mm, no, you will, just as I did. So anyway, that's, upgrading things, whether it's microphones or adding more gear to your studio. Did y'all hear that? This little thing moved around. The mic moved around. I did want to say this. Look, this is a new puppy in my studio. This is the RE20. I love this microphone, man. Aesthetically, it looks like something that I don't know, was dropped out of a freaking I don't know, man, a UFO or something, way ahead of its time. But still the number one go-to broadcast microphone in probably the whole world. Um, but they send this one little piece right here that you can hold your microphone up by. But if you touch the mic, there's really no shock mount in it, so it will rattle and hum. But the shock mount that they offer that goes with the RE20, I don't know if you've ever seen it, y'all, but it looks like a dinosaur. I mean, aesthetically, it's really, really big. Okay. And it just looks like, I'm surprised, okay, that Electro Voice hasn't came out with an aftermarket shock mount by Electro Voice that's more aesthetically, in proportion with this microphone. Electro Voice just needs to hire me and get me to do design on it, because I know a beautiful design in my head of how I would actually draw it out that'd be just as sci-fi as this microphone, that would last a lifetime and aesthetically more in proportion with the mic. So anyway, I did order an aftermarket shock mount. I found that it would fit this microphone, and but it's not. And I'm sure it'll work because on the label down there it said that it would fit the RE20. But I would really like to design one. I'd like to design, and I have in my head of how it should look. I'd love to design a daggum shock mount for the RE20. I need to get a hold of Bosch. I need to get a hold of them guys and say, "Look, man, bring me in and let me do a design on this on a daggum shock mount for this." Keep in mind, this came out in 1968. and is still the number one go-to mic in broadcast. And so, but as I said last night on my other video, it came out in 1968, but it really looks like it should have came so ahead of its time. It looks like something that would come out in, I don't know, 2030 or something like that, you know? I mean, with these ribs and everything on it like that. So, yeah, I'm constantly upgrading my studio right now, and I'm doing that with microphones. I'm trying to build my mic collection back up. And I feel like that if you use the right microphone, the right amplifier, or the right instrument, you can you can do a lot with very little EQing. Excuse me, going in. And that's typically where you want to kind of be is whenever you can use the microphone, right instrument, and get all your tracks burnt to tape or whatever in that manner. Um, there's very little EQing and masking that should take place if you do it right. And there are some pros out there that are doing it right who do no EQing, just the right microphone on the right instrument. And man, they're geniuses. So yeah, that goes a long way, and that's why I kind of went interface first, and then me. I would do microphones seconds, and then it'd be the preamps third, and then fourth would be the compressors on your outboard gear, and then I really wouldn't worry about what DAW you're using unless you just have a favorite DAW that you've been using for 100 years, and you don't want to switch over. Um, but for me, I was using Nuendo for at least 10, 12, 13 years, maybe longer. I hadn't put the pencil to it. But I wanted to change over and do something different. And now I'm using Studio One Pro. And I love it, man. I mean, I love it. It's just as easy. I can navigate around it with no problem. And don't have a problem with that. So it's not really your DAW that makes the difference. It's your interface. Put your money, your heart and soul in your interface, and then from there, your mics and your mic pre's and your compressors, cables, and you'll be good, man. You should be good and be able to do some stuff, produce some stuff just as good, quality wise as the big boys. Now mixing is a whole different story. There's a lot of tricks and things they use. That that's why they sit where they sit, and that's why um the people they get Grammys is because they're great at what they do, and what they do is mixing, how to take a mix and just make it into a masterpiece. So there's a lot of artwork behind all that too. It's not just having the tools, it's being an experienced engineer and knowing what to do and how to take a normal song and then make it sound 10 or 15 times better than what the artist imagined it could sound. Okay. That's a good engineer. That's somebody who really knows how to mix a song and bring out the elements in that song that propel the song and make it huger than life. Okay. That's a great engineer, someone who can take a mix like that and do something with it. But as far as getting the quality into the DAW, you can do all the tracking and then send those stems to someone else that can do the mixing for you and take it to a whole different level. So, but at least you can do the tracking and get high quality tracks in, okay? So that the engineer who is doing the mixing can have something nice to work with that sounds really, really clean and just gives him a lot to work with, right? If he has some junk that you're sending him or some stuff that sounds like crap, it's kind of hard to mix out crap, to sound any better because it is what it is. But if your tracking is really nice and sounds good and the quality is all there, it really opens up the doors for that engineer to hear the elements in that song and to take it to a whole different level, take it to a completely different level. And if you're an artist and you're sending your stuff off to someone who can mix and who has been behind the mixing board, who has been sitting beside someone who has a few Grammys out there, they're going to take your mix as an artist and they're going to hear the elements in it and they're going to take it to a different level. And so it's good to pass the ball off sometimes, and not to try to wear all the hats because these people not only love what they do, but they're great at what they do. And so I've seen it many, many times before. And even myself have done some things, tried to wear all the hats when I could have sent it off to someone else and let them play with it a little while. Let them run the ball. Let them score the touchdown. You know, um, that's what it's all about, man. It's all about sharing. It's all about not being in control all the time and letting other experienced people come into play and what you have to play. Share your toys, right? Share. It's all about sharing your ideas with someone else and letting them take your ideas to a level you never thought it could go, right? And when you listen back, you go, oh man, I never would have done that. So it's a cool thing. Upgrade your studio, start at your interface, start at tracking, do your tracking, and don't be afraid to send your mixes off. If it's someone trustworthy and can do a great job on your mix, go ahead and send it off. You can't go wrong, man. So thank you guys for joining in tonight. As always, I appreciate all of you. I really do. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do now. Slam that bell. That's right. Slam that bell. And be a part of the ride, man. We always have some great things going on here at Audio Master. And always trying to give in a little bit of advice and not too much, but just enough where you can chew on some of it and take it for whatever it's worth. And it's a great channel. I appreciate all of you, man. I really do. Thank you guys for joining in. I'm going to try to come in at 7 o'clock again on Texas time tomorrow night. So that's every night at 7 o'clock. I'm going to try to come in, throw a little bit of 2 cents in on this and that. We got some cool stuff tomorrow night I'm going to be throwing at you. And it's going to be a little more on your advanced level. So you don't want to miss out. For those of you who are just starting out in the audio world, it might be a little bit too much for you to chew on, but that's okay, man. I'm trying to do a little bit for everybody. For your intermediate people who are just starting out, who don't know what to buy, because we all been there before, right? Just had no clue, just knew we wanted to start recording our own music or whatever. So we really didn't know what to get or where to start or anything about it. All we knew was we had maybe a Shure 58 in our hands, and that's all we had, and a guitar. So there's a lot of people out there like that. But then there's a lot of people out there that are way up there and advanced. And I'm trying to cater to as much as I can, right? So I kind of want to be free in that area where I can cater to the beginners, to the intermediate, or in the middle of the road, and then to the advanced as well. So I don't know. I appreciate all of you anyway. And I appreciate all of you subscribing. Hit that subscribe, slam that bell, and we will see you again. Thanks for joining in, y'all. See you tomorrow night.